Mm.
Namaste everybody. Welcome to today's class. Sorry, the class is starting a few minutes late because I've just finished another session. So don't worry. If we start a little late, I'll make up for it. I'll give you the full value of this 1 hour. So don't just a few minutes. If you have to wait, please bear with me because I have to. Sometimes the earlier session ends in a little longer time. So just I'll run everybody through the process. Please keep a diary and a pen with you. To take notes. Notes are something that you can depend on even 5 years later, 10 years later. You can share them. You can spread it in your friend circle, in the people who you know. Right? That's how we pass it forward. So take notes. Second, if you have any questions that come up during while I'm talking, it's always better to we'll keep the last 10 minutes as question answer, so you can write in your diary or on a page whatever your questions for today are, or general questions. Also, every day the WhatsApp group will open. You are all free to share whatever questions that you have related to what we've talked about, what we've studied, doubts related to the practices that I'll be teaching you. You can share them on the WhatsApp group freely. Health issues, don't feel any shame. Don't carry any shame, any hesitance. This community is here to support each other on this journey. We're not here to judge each other. We're not here to condemn each other. We're not here to say, oh, this is your karma, you need to deal with it. No, we're here to say that we are all here to work towards better health, supporting each other on that journey. So that's why the WhatsApp group is there. Please feel free to share whatever issues you have, family members have, how we can solve it. Maybe your question and your story might help somebody else who's also feeling shy to share. So, no hesitation. And keep the questions for the last. Otherwise, sometimes when the chat is on and you're asking, it distracts me from what needs to be spoken. If you are not comfortable sharing it on the WhatsApp group, you can send me a separate WhatsApp message. I will try to answer your questions within 24 hours. Now let's come to what can you expect from this program. This is not a diet and exercise class. Although we have been told that these are the two things that we need to master to keep our bodies healthy and fit. The definitions of fitness are very vague. The definition of health is very vague. Even doctors don't know what needs to be done. Because 20 years ago, the doctors, and I remember when my father got a heart issue, the first thing that the doctor said, do not consume ghee. They made us shift to what is called your hydrogenated fats, refined oil, right? This was a trend 15, 20 years ago. Indians were made to shift from ghee, cooking in mustard oil, cooking in coconut oil, to refined oils. But today, the scientific community, the doctors community has said, oh, ghee is medicine. Please cook in ghee. Please cook in mustard oil. So there is no real parameter that is clearly defined on what is good health. Right? Yes, there are general. A lot of people get heart attacks when they go to the gym. I know many such people in their 40s also who have suffered a heart attack just when they started their fitness journey. So imagine, you'll think, oh, I need to get fit. What should I do? I should hit the gym. I should go on a diet. I should get a nutritionist. And guess what? That could be the biggest mistake. Because the heart, we don't know. We don't know enough about the human body, and we do not consider the uniqueness of every system when we're prescribing diets, when we're prescribing workouts. So don't try anything weird, exceptional, thinking that this is what health and fitness is. So what we're going to do in these 2 weeks is we are going to tap into the superior intelligence of your body, what you need, how to understand the body beyond a set of organs. Because this is the definition of what we think the human body is. We say how to check your health and fitness, get your blood parameters done. That's a very basic understanding of health. Right? Now let me give you an example. I see this man who has no limbs, no hands. No hands means nothing, and no legs. No legs means not even halfway till the knees. So he has no limbs. A limbless man, you can Google him, YouTube him, has swam across the Pacific Ocean. No limbs. Has swam in the ocean, like he's done marathons. And he's one of the biggest motivational speakers in the world. We look at a disabled child and we immediately label that child disabled. Physically challenged, mentally challenged. Mozart, deaf, the greatest producer of music, Beethoven, could not hear. Beethoven could not hear music. He could not hear anything. He didn't have the faculty of his ears. And yet he went on to produce the greatest music of all time, Beethoven. So can we break the boundaries that we have used to define health in these 2 weeks? This is what I would welcome everybody to go beyond what you think of the human body as weight, shape, size, blood work. I have cancer, I have this disease, I have that disease. Can you at least for just these 2 weeks embark on a new way of looking at your body? Right? Because this is the average way of understanding health. This is very mediocre understanding of the human ability. If a limbless man can be swimming, crossing an entire ocean, if a deaf man can be creating music, then what is stopping us from living the life that we want to live? From experiencing this level of human capacity? What is stopping us? There clearly has to be something that is our mind. How are we thinking? What limits have we set upon this mind? Because if that was real, let's say if it was real that cancer should kill you, then how did a Jiddu Krishnamurti live with 3rd stage cancer for 25 years and do more work, look healthier, glow, and perform better than a regular human being who doesn't have cancer? How is a human being able to do all that for 25 years with cancer? If cancer is really the cause of death, then why are some people able to do so much despite some very horrible diseases? And how can a so-called healthy person not even live 1% of that life? Not explore 1% of that human potential? I have 4 limbs. I have not crossed the Pacific Ocean. And how is a limbless man able to do it? So there's something psychologically that I have conditioned myself to believe about this body, about myself, about my health, about my intelligence, that is making me live or experience health in a certain way, right? So this course is, I'm not going to teach you what to eat, what not to eat, because that is at a very superficial level of the body. You must understand that the body that we are seeing is the illusion. It is called Maya. The illusion is that this body, you think this is this. Actually, the magic is that your mind can do whatever it wants. Body does not come in the way. Body will only come in the way till how much you think the body has power. Actually, the body doesn't have power. Body is an inert thing. It is just made up of some food. You were conceived in your mother's womb. She ate food, and that food made your body. But is that you? If I take away your hand, will you not exist? Think about these things. That so many people, when they die, we can still connect to their spirits. Have you heard of this? Atma, soul. That even when people pass over, we can connect with their souls. They are still alive. That means after the physical body has been destroyed, cremated, buried, whatever the ritual is in whichever culture, how is the soul still, why is that person still existing? How is that person still existing? So there is something beyond just the physical that is more powerful than the physical. But most of us are so conditioned to think about the physical as the most powerful that our whole focus and energy is only on the physical. We are not being able to change the focus and take it to the spiritual, the mystical, the energy level of the spiritual, of the physical body. We're too stuck on just seeing the physical parameters. Since childhood, you were told eat healthy to be healthy. People who had lactose intolerance were forced to drink milk. Every body is unique. Sometimes you just don't feel like having something. Why? Why are you not feeling like having it? Because your body doesn't need it. But the science community, parents, society will tell you, no, this is how much food you need to eat. You need to eat 3 meals a day. The yogic community says you don't need more than 1 meal a day. But no, nutritionists are saying you need 6 small meals a day. So there is huge discrepancy in what is the right amount of food. But I am telling you, none of this matters. None of this really matters. The approach is wrong. We are saying that our whole focus is on the physical body. I am saying just shift it, make the whole focus energy. The physical body is inferior to the energy body. So you have 3 more important layers I'll talk about. I won't go into all the layers of the body because this is not the agenda of this course. Related to health, I will say 3 important layers exist. Physical body, which is Annamaya Kosha, which is made up of Anna, food, the food body. So the food body will be handled in with food. Less food is good food. Whatever you're eating, less food is good food. Even if you're eating the best food and you're eating more food, you're doing it wrong. Less food, this does not hold for pregnant women, this does not hold for people with diseases, some major illnesses. Maybe at that time your body needs more food, it needs different nutrition. I'm talking about if your average health is okay, less food. 3 meals a day, I don't think so. You can do 2 meals a day. Increase the gap between your 2 meals. Less food, more hydration, and basic amount of movement. Does not mean you should be running on the treadmill, does not mean you should be jumping up and down, doing marathons. That's not what I'm trying to say. I'm saying, but just general movement throughout the day, whether you do some flexibility, is good enough for now. Because we are not giving so much importance to the food body, this physical body. The bigger body after the food body, after Annamaya Kosha, is Pranamaya Kosha, which is where I will be taking you to. Because for the physical body, you have a lot of data. Everybody can experiment, go to nutritionists, go to their own types of gyms, yoga, whatever. That's not my area of expertise. I am taking you to a body which is actually controlling this body, which is the Pranamaya Kosha. Pranic body. This is the body made up of your 7 chakras. This is the body that is made up of prana energy. And prana is there in food, prana is there in air, prana is there in your water. So you are not just dependent on food. We will be doing pranic exercises to increase prana in the body. So you could be overweight and you could have a lot of prana. You could be physically challenged and have a lot of prana. You can be mentally challenged and have a lot of prana. And the more the prana, the amount of prana in your system is, guess what? That's what will determine your health. Your ability to do more than an average person in whatever health condition you are in. Don't just depend on food. Breathing can increase the prana in the body. And when prana increases, naturally you will see the Annamaya Kosha, the physical body, starts healing. Because I'm telling you the hierarchy. What is higher? Prana. Food body, pranic body, and above the pranic body, which is the third body, which we need to work on in this course, it's the Manomaya Kosha, the mind body. Even higher than the prana. So the mind is more important. Your thoughts and your emotions is what makes up your mind. So you see the hierarchy, and we are always focused on fixing the food body, which has no real intelligence of its own. The real intelligence is with the mind body, which is thoughts and emotions. Then the pranic body, pranayam, breath, increase, oxygenating your whole system. You don't need to walk, you don't need to do anything. Just an hour of correct pranayam practices, techniques, kriya techniques, can oxygenate your body to a level where no cancer cells will survive. But the best thing is work on the thoughts and the emotions. Highest. Once you've corrected the thought and the emotion, disease cannot exist. The purpose of human life is to do something. Right? You've come here, you've taken human birth, you're here to do something. That's the only use of the body, to have experiences. To experience love, to experience sex, to experience children, to experience whatever you want to experience. You want to ride a cycle in the mountains, you should be able to experience that through your body. The purpose of human life is just this much, and then we will die. So if we are not able to experience the health in the body, the energy in the body, then we're living a very limited life. So the first correction that we will do in our entire process is we will work on the Manomaya Kosha, thoughts and emotions. Regulate your thoughts and emotions. Use your thoughts and emotions to influence your physical body. So today I'll tell everybody, today's little assignment for the rest of the day is play with one thought, right? Just say all throughout the day, even if you're not feeling like it, that I am happy. You will observe your mind will say, shut up. It's not true. It's not true. What is this nonsense? I'm not happy. Because all day, you'll actually see you have 100 reasons where you'll be convinced that you are not happy. It will be so hard for you to maintain this one thought, I'm happy. You can't maintain it. You say, it's bakwas hai, jhoot hai. I am not happy. Why should I say I'm happy? So observe what thoughts are running through your head throughout the day. Just observe. No judgment. We are not here to judge our little minds. We are not here to judge ourselves. Whatever thoughts you're having, notice sometimes the mind goes in the past. Sometimes you'll start talking to yourself. You're sitting and you're having conversations with yourself only, or thinking about somebody who's in the past, what happened, what they did, why your life is a mess, why you're not happy, or your present people, how they're disappointing you, how this is not right, that is not right. There is a negative conversation happening all the time in our minds, which is mostly negative. Mostly it is problem oriented. Mostly it is looking at what is not right, what needs to be fixed. And the mind very, very, very well justifies it, because mind is jobless otherwise. If the mind is not focused on solving a problem, if the mind is not focused on perfection, if the mind is not focused on fixing someone or something, it is jobless. It has nothing to do. So the mind is active 24 hours a day. And 99%, I will say, it is focused on what's not right. And this is where the depletion of energy is happening in the body. Because this is in the Manomaya Kosha, the thought and emotion, when it is primarily negative, primarily problem oriented, it's eating up energy, isn't it? So I just want you to observe every time you have a problem oriented thought or discussion or emotion. What is a negative emotion? Anger, jealousy, fear, suspicion. Even fear. Fear about something not going right. Suspicion, anger. Even let's say things like not being hopeful. No, this will never work out for me. I've accepted my destiny. Things like that. When we feel those depressive emotions, these consume energy. Whose energy are they consuming? Are they consuming other people's energy? No. First of all, they're consuming my energy. Then if I'm such a person, then they will consume other people's energy. I will consume other people's energy, because now my energy is depleted. Now I will need people who have more energy, because I need energy. The whole game is of energy. Notice people who are depressed, people who are sadness, people who are angry, even people who are angry, people who are jealous, they always need another person. Then you are hunting for people to listen to you, to talk to you, to pull you out. Because our energy has dipped so low that we are unable to pull ourselves out in that moment. Because to pull ourselves out, we need energy. We don't have energy, it's a vicious circle. So there will always be a dependence on someone to pull us out. We will always need to do something to be pulled out of that situation. That is if you realize that you need to be pulled out. A lot of people don't even realize. So they keep going down, 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 and the health goes flat. Because nobody is coming to pull them out also. Because do we like going to hospitals? How many people love going to a hospital? How many people say, oh, you know what, it's my dream to be in a hospital. I love the smell. I love watching people die. I love people crying. I love misery. How many of us love that? No, we dread it. We don't want to see hospitals. So people are also like this. If we have become weak, we have become ill, nobody wants to be around us. People want to avoid us. And then what happens? You get even weaker because your source of energy you're not getting. You're feeling isolated, you're feeling weak. So the problem really starts with the thoughts and emotions. And most of us, 99%, are thinking these kind of thoughts. So when we observe, you'll see the minute you'll have a happy thought, you'll remember a happy memory, something that happened really well in your life, see immediately how you get energy. And the minute you think about people, what they did wrong, you lose energy. This is the power of the Manomaya Kosha. So for physically disabled person, let's say I'm born with some disability, the minute I am told you are disabled, this is a weak child, this is a handicapped person, I have started thinking those thoughts. That child will grow up thinking those thoughts. There is a conditioning that has happened to how I am talked to as a kid. People's skin color becomes their identity because since they were children, they were told, ये तो काला है, ये तो काला है, काले से कौन शादी करेगा, काला is ugly. So majority of the Indian population is in deep insecurity, low self-esteem. Why do you think we were ruled by so many people? Because they hit us where it hurt. They made us believe that we are dark. Majority of the Hindu population was dark before the invasions happened. So how did they rule them? Because they made you feel low about yourself. And then black. If your skin color is your identity, imagine. People feel that they're pretty or ugly based on the tone of their skin. Just imagine how silly that is. The shape of my body has become my self-esteem. If my waist is like this, I have very high esteem, and if my waist becomes like this, I have very low self-esteem. Isn't that silly? But it is not. And once you'll observe your thoughts the whole day, you'll see that most of your thoughts are like this. My memory is very bad. People say this. I'm not intelligent. I'm not so smart. I'm not so healthy. Ab age nahi hai. What are the things you are believing, you're thinking all day? Apart from negative things, is how you're talking about yourself. A physically disabled person is also crossing the Atlantic Ocean. And a healthy person is sitting depressed in a house. Both scenarios exist in this world. There's something, the only thing that is really different about these two people is how they are choosing to think throughout the day. सिर्फ इतना ही difference है. This is the only difference. A totally healthy person can be very depressed. Their whole body can feel like it does not want to get up from the bed. And a totally disabled human being can be very active and out in the world. What are you thinking all throughout the day? Where is the focus of your thoughts going? So your thoughts are actually making you sick. It's really starting at the level of the thought. The thoughts, and a lot of people will say, I was born this way. A lot of people are born with birth defects, born with illnesses. Why was I born? Why did I get specs at the age of 5? Why was I born with, say, liver, weak liver? Or why are some people born with a physical disability? Because my thought process, my conditioning is what is called as karma. The definition of karma is just this: a particular way of thought. Because the way of thought gives birth to action. Action is based on what? The way I think. And when the more action I take, it causes a reaction. This is the karmic cycle. So don't think that your karma has started in this life. Your karma actually has been going on for many lifetimes. As a result, you could be born a certain way in this lifetime based on what the past projected onto you. But we can still change it. The beauty of karma is that it is changeable. That is the whole purpose. To move from that dense karma to lighter, 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 and you can actually manifest health no matter what your health condition is. If one has really taken it upon themselves that I don't want to live like this anymore. I don't want to be this ill body. I don't want to experience low energy. If you really committed, you can change your entire karmic history. Right now, right this minute, it can start changing. But for that, first thing is awareness. That yes, something is off. Alcoholic can get totally clean in some time, can't it? Anybody who's been doing drugs, alcohol, can they not leave it and change their life? Look at the river Ganga. Everybody is talking about we need to clean Ganga, we need to clean Ganga, we need to clean Ganga. Ganga has become so dirty, right? During the lockdown, what did we see? Rivers cleaned up, nature cleaned up. We didn't have to do anything. We were actually locked down. Nature cleaned itself up. What is that trying to tell you? You don't need to clean the Ganga. You don't need to heal the body. Just stop polluting it. Stop. It will clean itself up. The body has its own healing intelligence. You just need to stop your negative, continuous negative involvement. Just stop that. And you don't have to do within 3 months, the body renews. Every cell in the body changes every 3 months. Why are you not anti-aging? Why is your aging not going in reverse? Actually, that should be the goal. That people should look at you and be like, oh my God, you still look like a 16-year-old kid. You still have the energy of a 16-year-old. Your energy body does not need to age. Only the physical body ages. Our pranic body can be younger. It can actually reverse age. You can have so much more energy in your 80s and your 70s than you ever had in your 20s. And a lot of people will notice this. Change the environment that those kids were in. Most of people grew up in toxic environments. Very, very unhealthy, emotionally, psychologically unhealthy spaces. Change the environment. Watch, it's a different person you're watching. Change the people that this person is connected with. So many times you think just the food is not it. Your environment plays a very big role in your health. A very negative, very toxic environment where everybody's always blaming you, cursing you, saying a lot of violence, a lot of stress, it'll age anybody. So the environment makes a difference. Who's your friend circle? Are they uplifters or are they pulling you down? Are you surrounded by people who are jealous of you, who are against you? So your friend circle matters, your relationships matter, your life partner matters. Is your life partner your biggest cheerleader? Are you in a healthy relationship? If you're not in a healthy relationship, notice health will go down, will to live will go down. Friends matter, relationships matter, environment matters. So sometimes we have to cut off from all this to reclaim our power. Change your environment, change your people, isolate for some time till you are clear about your healing process. It's very healthy to do that. COVID is a very good example. It showed you self-isolate. Do things for yourself and everything becomes okay then. The body heals itself every 3 months. It is a new body. All cells are replaced. Cancer cannot stay in a body. Cancer cannot stay in a mind that is thinking, I want to live. I still want to climb. I want to climb the Everest. I want to have a child. I want to experience deep love. So what if I haven't experienced it yet? I'm still alive. Cancer cannot survive in a person that is still hopeful for life, that still wants to experience something new, something more, that has dreams. Cancer cannot survive there. Cancer can come, but this body is too powerful for cancer to live. And that's why we see comebacks. Sanjay Dutt just came out of third stage cancer. Nobody knows it. Doctors told him, see, Sanjay Dutt, you're about to go through chemotherapy, right? Look at the people, how they prepare you. Now you'll believe, okay, chemotherapy, my hair will fall. Okay, chemotherapy, you cannot go out and meet anybody in the world. All doctors will say this. Sanjay Dutt is no exception. He also needs to conform to that rule. Your body will deteriorate for some time. You need to stay in a room. You need to isolate. You should not, you'll lose your hair, and still we are not guaranteeing if this cancer will go. It might come back. Sanjay Dutt listens to the doctor and he says, F you. I don't believe that my hair will fall. I think my hair will stay. I am saying power of the mind, because this is a man that overcame major drug addictions. It needs some kind of mental power to come out of addictions also, especially hardcore drugs like heroin, cocaine. It's not easy to come out of drug addictions like that. So this same person at this age is saying, I refuse to believe that chemotherapy hair will fall. I don't believe it. My hair will not fall. Everybody's hair must be falling. Mine will not fall. Second, he says, my body, no. I'm going to go to the gym every day. Right now only I'm going to go to the gym to prove you wrong. I am not doing this chemotherapy karke lie down in the room. And I have a movie to shoot in 3 months. I am going to shoot my movie. This person did not lose hair in chemo. Sanjay Dutt. Right now, this is a very recent story. He doesn't lose any hair in chemo. Majority people lose hair in chemo. He works out every single day in third stage cancer. And he shoots a movie in 3 months. Same cancer. Same cancer. One fever can paralyze a human being. One fever is enough to paralyze you. You will say, no, I'm gone now. I will recover after 5 days. Doctor has said 5 days viral carries on. You are choosing to introduce all this in your Manomaya Kosha. It's your choice. Whatever you are going to believe, let me prepare you. You are ready. You should be ready to face it. Whatever you're choosing to believe. What is the Manomaya Kosha? My choice of thoughts. Nothing can enter my mind which I don't want. I will not allow it. I will not believe it. No human being can come in my life that will destroy my peace. The door is there, walk out. No environment can influence me. I am the master of my destiny. I am the master of my mind. Because I understand if the mind is not in my control, my prana is not in my control, my body is not in my control. Nobody can have control of my mind. Nobody. You might be a doctor, you might be the prime minister of this country, you might be my husband, you might be my wife, you might be my child, whoever you are. This mind is in my control. So what happens? Conversations are happening around you. You just nod. Ha, bilkul, 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 bilkul. That should be your attitude. Nothing should get inside your mind. It should be blocked right there. Only that which you want to manifest should enter here. What do you want to manifest? Excellent energy. First thing is, I am not this body. Please, this should become your mantra for these 2 weeks. Whatever is happening with the body, I am not this body. Something has been happening with this body, hasn't it? When we were kids, loose motions, boils, chicken pox, all kinds of nonsense, teething, fevers are coming. Look at little kids. Every time the season changes, they fall sick. So we have been falling. The body has been going through something or the other since it is born. I am not this body because this body has been changing. If I was this body, then where is the 3-year-old now? Where did the 3-year-old go? Where did the 16-year-old girl go? Where will the 50-year-old woman go? The 80-year-old. So I am not this body. This body has a life of its own. It's going on. So there has to be a certain disassociation with the body that needs to start. Look at the body. Don't become the body. Don't say मेरा शरीर. मेरा शरीर नहीं है ये एक शरीर है. मेरा हो सकता है, ठीक है, मेरे कंट्रोल में है ये शरीर, मुझे दिया गया है एक शरीर, पर ये मैं नहीं हूं. तो मैं बीमार हूं, आई एम इल. That's not correct. That's not a correct statement. Why are you making the statement? It's actually technically wrong. I cannot be ill. The body is ill. This body is ill. This body is fat. This body can be overweight. But there cannot be an I. This is where the wrong association has happened. I have started saying I for the body. It's like saying I am this finger. I am not this finger. This finger can go. I will still be. The body can go. The soul still lives. The person still exists. I have talked to people that have left their bodies. I've had conversation. I've seen them also. I can see them also. They still exist. We don't die after we've lost the body. So that means I am beyond the body. When one realizes this, when one starts saying this, it's not like 1 minute you'll hear from me and from second minute this will become your truth. No, this must be practiced throughout the day. Every time you're about to speak, I am. Stop, pause. No. I don't want to go into the body consciousness because then it's a misery. Because this body is changing every minute. I'll be miserable if I'm in my body consciousness. I want to be in that high prana. I want to be in the spiritual consciousness, which has all the power. To heal the body, to change the body. Another crazy story I'll tell you for today. This is an introductory class, so I'm just trying to warm you up for what to expect in the coming classes. What kind of energy work will we do? where you will start experiencing all this. In whatever I'm saying today, you will experience all these things every day. So a lady was a Kali Ma. There's a Kali Ma temple in Delhi. Very, very famous Ma Kali temple. South Delhi. So she's from a very prominent, wealthy family. This lady in her 50s, 60s. Every day for her whole life, for the last 30, 40 years, she has come to the Kali Badi and she would do the pocha. She would mop the whole floor of the Kali Mandir. This is her bhakti for the Divine Mother, Kali Ma. And she would do this, she doesn't need to. 2 hours in the morning, she would come and mop the whole temple on her own. Right? For years she's done this because she's a bhakt of the Kali. She has a grandchild. So one of the days where she's in Delhi, she's doing her daily seva in the mandir. She gets a call from her son and her daughter-in-law that the child that is born in another city, they were in a different city, he's deaf, he's mute. He can't speak. He won't be able to speak. So they say, okay, we'll try treatments. 2-3 months pass. The child is 3-4 months old. No, the doctors say it's not even crying. It has no sound. It's a mute baby. So this lady goes in front of the Kali. This is a real story. She goes in front of the idol and she says that I have done your bhakti for 30 years. You know, everyone, I'm going and telling the whole world, Ma Kali, Ma Kali, Ma Kali. And you've done this to me that my child is born, my grandchild is born with no tongue, can't speak. So what she does is she takes a knife in front of everybody that's present in the temple that day and she chops off her tongue. This lady, and there's blood coming out of her mouth. She chops off her tongue and she says, this is here. What do you want from me? What more do you want from me? You want to see my bhakti? She chops off her tongue and she puts it in front of the Devi. Now look what happens, right? This only a bhakt can do. Someone with very, very high bhakti energy. That's the level of connection she has with the deity. In 1 week, her tongue grows back. This lady's. In 1 week. The coming 1 week, her tongue grew back. And in that same week, her grandchild, they said that this is a miracle. The baby starts crying. So this life, this world that we are in, it's not so obvious, everything. There's a lot of magic happening in this world. So whatever health conditions you have, wherever you are in your life right now, don't consider that as absolute. Don't think that this is it. And especially if we are born in a country like Bharat, Hindustan. This is a land of magic, mystical land. It is a privilege to be born here. And if we are living in such limited things of health issues, and this is peanuts, this is baby stuff. So we have to go beyond the obvious and tap into some of this mystical, magical energy that is ours, that is always available, which is healing, which is therapeutic, which is self-renewing. No medicine is needed. No doctor is needed. You are needed. Till you are not ready, no medicine will work on you, no treatment will work on you. Your participation is needed. Your inner yes is needed. That yes, I want this. What might not be possible at 50, I'm telling you it's possible at 70 also. 70-year-old couple starts cycling in Dehradun and rides up to the Leh Ladakh mountains together within 1 or 2 years of training, We start cycling at 70. And by the time they're 72, they're cycled all the way from Dehradun to Leh Ladakh. This is possible. This is the power of the body. So, but you need to wake up and you need to say, yes, I want. The mind needs to be trained. That's it. Mind is a trainable entity. You are also not the mind. You are the soul. Don't forget that. Don't come back into human consciousness, body consciousness again and again. Every time the mind is overpowering, your body is behaving a certain way, go back and say, I am the Atman. Aham Brahmasmi. This is it. All you need to remind yourself. I am the Brahman. I am not this. Whatever everybody is saying about me is not the truth. Whatever I am believing about me is not the truth. I am this age. I am a woman. I am a man. All the limitations, the boundaries I've set on my soul to express itself. Why am I doing that? Why am I creating these boundaries, these definitions? कि ये मेरी कैपेबिलिटी है अभी किसने बोला आप बोल रहे हो you are saying it, you are believing it. There are millions of examples of people who have broken these rules. Of tumors, brain tumor, gone. Cancer, gone. Physical deformity, okay. Overcome it. What do you want? Be focused on what you want and not on what is. What is can change. What is will change. We just need to stop polluting the Ganga and the Ganga will clean itself up. We just need to stop polluting our consciousness, and this is pollution. Putting labels. The soul doesn't like it. Soul does not like a cage. Don't tell your body, mind that this is the limit it needs to live in. Soul does not like it. Soul wants to break the cages. Soul can be, you can be 80 and you can have the energy of a 16-year-old. Why not? Don't define what you can achieve. Don't define what you can be, what you can have, who you can be with, what experiences you can have. Don't define them. Don't put those limits, because that is where disease starts. This is the starting of the disease when the mind is deeply unhappy, because the soul is not in power. Soul, leave it free. Ask yourself, where are my thoughts concentrated throughout the day? On lack, on what's not wrong, what's wrong with my life, what's wrong with my body, what's wrong in my environment, because that's where the disease is starting from. So today's assignment for everybody is just one: observation. Just observe, no judgment. Don't judge. Hi, I'm such a bad person. I'm so this, I'm so that. No judgment. Just observe. When I'm thinking negative thoughts, am I feeling high on energy? Do I want to dance? Because dance is, when you feel like dancing, means the energy is very high. Dance is the highest expression of the cosmos. Peacocks dance. Why is the peacock the sign of Krishna? The highest experience of energy is the peacock dancing. It's enjoying, it's happy. So if you are not in that state where you really want to just dance, that means the energy is dipping low. So observe. What am I thinking? That means I don't feel like going and dancing. So just write it down in your journal. Just observe your thoughts and write down general thoughts. Just write general thoughts about the body, about life, too much in the past, fear about the future, fear about the body. Just note this down. And then tomorrow we will discuss the first technique of subconscious training. We will do a meditation, we'll do some affirmations. We'll see what is the first technique now. Now we will start moving into techniques on what you can do little bit daily, not much, just little bit change in your daily routine to tap into this new energy that the body feels. Body already has, right? Anybody has questions, please ask now. You can either type it out, you have a chat button there. You can type. Yes, Manisha. The minute we say, I'm happy, I love my life, just say something like, I love my life, and notice the energy shifts. I love my partner. I love my children. I love my staff. The minute you are in the energy of appreciating, you'll notice you'll feel better. Hell with others. It's about being totally selfish. We need to be so selfish that my whole focus is on me feeling good all throughout the day. And when I'm appreciating, immediately I feel more energy. When I'm criticizing, I feel very low energy. I notice it. I've noticed it in my life also. Any time in the minute during the day, if I'm cribbing, if I'm in a criticizing, if I'm in a problem finding with anybody, my energy goes low. Then I need to eat more. When do we need to eat more? When we are low on energy. Otherwise, we don't really need that much food. So if we have questions, please ask. Otherwise, we all meet tomorrow. No questions? Anybody wants to say anything about today's class? Good. How did you like what you heard? Thank you. Fresh perspective, no questions, great. We meet tomorrow then. See you all for tomorrow's session. Can't unmute. Okay, you just wave. I'll unmute you, Manisha, 1 second. Here, try unmuting now.
Yeah. Am I audible?
Yes.
Yeah, ma'am, it was an amazing session. Sorry, I am not able to on my camera, but really enjoyed the in-depth and layman terms में आप जो समझाते हो ना, that's really fantastic because that helps a lot to get clarity. ज़्यादा technical जाते हैं ना, not everybody can connect.
Yeah.
But the divine energy you carry, the glow you have, and it makes us connect a lot. You're so divine. Thank you so much. Love you, ma'am.
So are we. So are you. So are all of us. We are all divine.
Thank you so much. You're so
Thank
lovely.
you, Manisha. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thanks a lot.
Okay, Anju says the body is inert or the body is an intelligent being. The body is not. You are. You are the intelligence in the body. You are not the body. Food is food. There is prana in the food. Even in a seed. The seed in itself is nothing. The seed carries intelligence. There is consciousness in the seed. Think about it. There's a seed. You put it in soil. You put water on it. How does the seed know मुझे टमाटर बनना है? I need to be a tomato. How does the seed know? The seed is not doing anything. It's lying inert. There's something that is there even in a seed. That the tomato seed becomes a tomato, the apple seed becomes an apple. The mango seed becomes a mango. Where is this intelligence stored? Same way, the physical is just the physical. We call it mitti. It will go back and become ash. But there is something, while I'm alive, there's something inside this body. Yes, please ask. Who? Anju, I'll just unmute you.
Hello.
Yes.
Hello. I'm not in argument with what you're saying. Actually, I'm in complete agreement with what you're saying. I do find that when we perhaps it's also nuanced understanding in that sense that when we talk about you're not your body, but you are what you think. A lot of times we also hear you are what you eat, for example, right? And where does all of this store itself in the prana more than in actually in the cells? But the cells themselves are such intelligent beings. So I just find that, in no way am I being argumentative about this,
No,
but I
no, please, please,
find
please.
no, but I do
It's good
find that.
to get as much clarity as
Yeah,
you can.
yeah. I do find that um when we negate and say, never mind the body, it's your thoughts that count. The fact is that it is proven that our body is a very, very intelligent being. And it, like you said, it repairs itself. It's nature. It's part of mitti, right? So I just find that it's sometimes borderline. I'm not choosing my
Nihilistic.
words. I'm not choosing my words very, very carefully, Mana, but I think it's borderline dangerous to negate that completely
Yeah.
sometimes because you don't know who's listening to it and what their apperceptive background is sometimes, you know?
Right,
Yeah.
right. So I'll clarify, which is
Yeah.
a very
Please
good
do.
point that Anju's brought up. That when I'm saying that the body is self-repairing, it's intelligent, it'll heal itself, it's nature, and I'm also saying don't think that you are the body, right? And I'm also saying don't think that you are the mind also. You're also not the mind, right? Because you are the chooser. If you were your thoughts, then you cannot change your own thoughts. Because this is confusing now. I'm telling you, you can change your thoughts, you can change your body. So then the you that I'm talking to is above the mind and the body. It's not to look down upon the body, it's not to look down upon the thoughts and say that they have no value. No, that's why so many people, when they die, they want to immediately come back in a body. Everybody wants to take rebirth because the body is the instrument through which the soul is expressing itself. But the change cannot happen at that level. This is what we need to understand. The change happens when I, the being that is in the body, am able to access that part of myself. That's when I can change. That's when I realize I have power to change the body and change the mind and change this entire thing that is happening through this body and this mind. So I am not the body. I am the being. I, the being, am not physical in nature. You understand what the goal to create this separation is? Body is the body. The body is very intelligent. But I am not it. I am not this body. I am beyond this body. That's why I have had many lifetimes. In one lifetime, I've been male. In one lifetime, I might have been XYZ country, XYZ race, XYZ color. The soul is constantly taking birth after birth. So the body is not me. The body is something I have acquired. It's an instrument through which I express. Can I master this body? Yes, that's the point, is to master the body. The body is a tool. The body is called a yantra. Yantra means a tool, a sophisticated technology. It's like my iPhone. I can't say this is a piece of shit and then use it. No, I need to value this. I need to charge it every day. Right? I can't throw it on the bed and say, this doesn't matter. Who cares about the phone? No, I need to value this phone. This phone has a place. But I am not this phone. I am the user of this phone. I can change the phone. I cannot become so attached that I say, no, 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 if something happens to the phone, I will die. That this is it. This is my whole being is this phone. That's not true. That's where the limitation happens. That's when we're not able to even use the body properly. We don't know what powers the mind, what powers of the mind are there, what powers of the body are there, because we're too attached. And it's a usually very limited understanding of the body. Like I said, we only know the body as a Annamaya Kosha level. Now you don't know of the pranic body. You don't know of Manomaya Kosha. You don't know about Anandmaya Kosha. You don't know about the science of connected to an astral realm. So you are thinking that you're just the Anmaya Kosha. Just this. You're not just this. It's like you're in class 2. You don't know yet that one day you'll be a 12th grader. One day you'll be in college. You don't know that. At the age of 2, you just know that I'm a 2-year-old. But are you just a 2-year-old? No, you are a 2-year-old that's going to become a class 12-year-old. That transformation is always happening. So I am telling you that maybe right now you are thinking that you're the 2-year-old, but I'm telling you, no, you will be a 12-year-old. There's more to the body than just this body. You are not the body. You must respect the body. You must know how to use the body, but you must know how to leave the body aside when it's not needed. It's not it. That realization has to be there. It's of immense respect. Please value it. Treat it well. That is a part of thinking good quality thoughts. Charging your battery every day, getting good sleep, getting good environment, giving it good nutrition, that's all good. But don't think कि मैं यही हूँ, because then the game will end there. If I think I am the car and my car breaks down, then I'm helpless, isn't it? If I am the car and the car has suddenly stopped, can the car fix itself? Can the car do everything? No, the driver can. The car can break down. The driver will say, yes, this is a BMW, it's very good quality. We'll just call up the technician, they'll come and they'll fix the car. So I am the driver. The me that I talk about. I hope, Anju, I've clarified to some extent. Please don't think that we have to look down upon the body and I'll say, bhuka maro is body ko. Chips ka packet khilao ise, feed it chips, feed it mutton kebab, feed it rice, it does not matter. No. At the level of the body, all those things will matter. But if you want to change the body, then you cannot change it at the level of the body. Then you have to go to the level of the mechanic that knows the body, but it is not the body. The mechanic knows the car, but it is not the car. So we have to tap into that part of ourselves that is beyond the body. The supreme intelligence that we say, na, the body is healing itself. Actually, it's the intelligence, consciousness that heals the body. You are that. Eventually, finally, we close it at that you are that intelligence. See the shift that will happen in your mind. I am not the body. I am the intelligence that is operating in the body. Yes, Sakshi. One last question and then we'll end the class. You can ask questions. Yes, please.
Actually,
Yeah.
I want to say thank you from bottom of my heart because
Sakshi, you'll have to increase your volume a little bit. Sorry.
am I audible now?
Yes, yes. Now you're audible.
Actually, I want to say thank you from of my heart because I met you in the end of 2023 and I was on antibiotic and steroids in 2019 to 23. Then I got your video where you were telling that we don't need anything. We all have to come out to any situation. Then I throw away my medicine, and in this year I have not taken single medicine, and everybody was shocked that how could I survive without medicine. Now I realize that I need a guru who can help me to overcome these negative beliefs that are restricting me from doing miracle. Medicines are not miracle. I realized after seeing your videos. Mentality uh, free from negative thoughts leads to miracle, and I surrender to you for uh, the knowledge and wisdom that will definitely help me in achieving my true potential.
So Sakshi, first of all, I'll tell everybody a little bit about Sakshi. Sakshi has been suffering with a lot of physical deformities, issues since childhood, right, Sakshi? And lots of problems, right? Lots of problems at a physical level. Underweight, she's almost 20 kgs, she's 25 years old. But this is the soul. You see? This is for everybody, Sakshi. You might be thinking that you are weak. But I will tell you, a lot of us healthy people don't have this power that you are exhibiting right now. That a 20 kg, 25-year-old life sitting in front of you is talking like this. This is the soul's power. This is intelligence. Guru is nobody, Sakshi. Guru is just somebody who has probably just will just light your path, you know. Is maybe through some divine this thing we've connected. But the power is yours. You chose to believe that I should throw away my medicines. You did it, right? You saved up money. She did not have any money. She saved up 2500 rupees for this class. Never did she message me, can I get a discount, ma'am? Can you give me a free class? Can you know, a lot of people write to me, we can't afford, we can't afford. This kid did not write that to me. She messaged me that I've been saving, I've saved up. Can I attend? Which one should I attend, money or health? I said, you attend both. One you pay for. I did not give her any discount. Lot of people, Sakshi, have messaged me that they want to sponsor your course. I said nobody will sponsor. Because this is her achievement. This is your achievement, that you've exhibited what the world needs to see the soul is. The intelligence that is operating in us is beyond all this. This life could save up, could attend a class, and many people who are fully able still come from excuses. Ma'am, we don't have time, ma'am, we don't have money. Fully able to work, fully able to earn a living will come from excuses. And this 25-year-old physically disabled child who suffered so much has managed to do what so many people with full arms, limbs have not been able to do. So, you understand, Sakshi, what today's class is? It's your power. This is it. Nothing will limit you once you are clear. I want to do this. Nothing can stop it. Whether you are ready to heal, you are ready to say, I will train this entire body in the next 3 months. It will happen. because I am the soul. I am not the body. Body I value, I love this body, no? That's why you want to fix it. I love this body. Beautiful body. And we'll learn more techniques. How we need to talk to the body, how we need to keep the body, how we need to keep our minds so that we can harness the power of the soul. Nuclear power. We are all nuclear powerhouses. So I hope everybody had a good start to this program. We will spend 1 hour, it'll be full of power. That's what I think we should call this. We're manifesting power and we can use that power to do whatever we want. So thank you everybody. I will see you all tomorrow. Today's homework is only one, self-observation. Absolutely, Anju. This is why I love this, right? Please feel free to ask me anything. There are no wrong questions. There are no negative questions. There is nothing stupid or silly. Your question can be a lot of people's question. So be confident and ask freely. The more we discuss, the more clarity comes. This is my job. This is why I'm here, to answer everybody's questions. And thank you all for coming. This will be the best money that you've spent in a long time, and I'll guarantee that. See you all tomorrow. Bye.